Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bama Blind. I'm Beverly, and I'm continuing our Happy New Year upload 2021. And hopefully, this video finds you doing okay and healthy. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's really interesting to me. It's being a fall risk as a blind person. And the thing that makes me want to talk about this is I was recently at an annual physical, an annual doctor's exam. You know, if you're keeping up with your own health, you go through maybe an annual or semi-annual exam, and you take your blood pressure and your temperature and your thyroid and your cholesterol and all of those great things that help you keep on track. And I really attribute the preventive medicine for making me the age that I am and as healthy, knock on wood, as I am. So I was recently at my doctor's office, which is in a hospital setting. That's just where her office happens to be. And once you go through the kiosk, which you need some assistance if you're blind, you have to get there. With a guide dog with Gretchen, I can get from the front door, actually I can get from our vehicle to the front door and to the elevator. Now, Gretchen doesn't know which floor I want to go on, but she positions me so that we're ready to exit the elevator, and she can actually find the doctor's office because it's the only office I go to in this hospital setting. So Gretchen has been there now for 3 years, and she remembers year after year after year where to go. It's just fascinating to me about a guide dog. But once I get there, I sign in with a kiosk, or have my assistants sign me in as a kiosk. And then they put on me a bracelet, and the bracelet says fall risk. And this time I asked, I was being a little bit, not snarky, just my normal advocacy self. And I asked the LPN, well, what is the bracelet you're putting on me? And she said, oh, it's just a formality because you have a disability. And I said, well, what does it say? I have a disability? And she said, oh, no, it just says you're a fall risk. And so I pulled my wrist back and I said, well, wait a minute, I'm not a fall risk. And she said, oh, it's just a formality to identify that you need assistance. And I said, but I don't need assistance from falling down. So it's not like I have a seizure disorder. It's not like I have blood pressure issues where I will faint and fall. It's not like I have paralysis or hemiparesis where my legs are weak and I fall. It's not that I have lack of coordination. I'm very, very coordinated. My legs are very strong. My ankles are very strong. I have an excellent gait in walking. And I said, so I'm not a fall risk in this environment. This is a smooth environment unless you're going to tell me that there are steps up and steps down, and that there will be no person to guide me down a flight of stairs or to warn me. And she said, no, we don't have steps. We've got elevators and everything's flat. And I said, then I'm not a fall risk. She said, well, we're bringing around a wheelchair. And I said, there's another incident. I just, as a blind person, can't sit in a wheelchair and be wheeled to where I need to go. And this individual, so I refused the bracelet and I refused the wheelchair. And there are specific reasons for that. And once I got to my doctor's office, I explained to her that I took a stance outside in the waiting room, in the procedures to get into her exam room, that I'm not a fall risk in this environment. I am not going to fall down, but you really need to know that I could be a collision risk. And she looked at me like, a collision risk? And I said, you don't have a bracelet for that, but you really should. You wouldn't put a fall risk on a person who is deaf, but they really need special attention to be given to communication. And they really, that is absolutely essential in a doctor's office. So for me, what's absolutely essential is for me to find my way from where I am to where I'm supposed to be. And that's just locating where I'm supposed to be. And then the other is not to collide with something. So I don't need to collide with a cart or a tray left in a hall. I don't need to collide with a plant somewhere or a table that's in the central part of a waiting room. I don't need to collide with other people that might be sitting in the room or their feet. I don't need to collide with the door facing. I don't need to collide with your equipment, which is on a pole somewhere, that's standing in the walkway. So I am a collision risk, but I am not a fall risk in a medical environment, and nor do I need help getting up from my chair and sitting down in the chair. I need help finding the chair. But because I am muscular, I am fit, and there's no weakness or anything, I have no problem sitting down in a chair, climbing onto an exam table, holding my arm out so you can take my pulse and my blood pressure. I have no problem with that. There's no weakness there. I just don't know where I'm supposed to be and, when I'm supposed to be there. So I need assistance to get to where you need me to be, but I don't need assistance in avoiding falls. I need assistance in avoiding collisions. So that's really basically guidance around obstacles. And when you put me, per se, in a wheelchair, I get extremely disoriented because for me to know where I am in space and time, I need to take steps. So my step, I have a normal gait. In an unfamiliar place, my steps become smaller. In a familiar place or like outside walking with Gretchen, my gait becomes a lot faster and a lot longer. So my stride is a little bit longer. But in a setting like in a doctor's office or a hospital setting, my gait is normal, just like any other sighted person. I take regular steps, one foot in front of the other, and Gretchen guides me around things. So at that point, I'm not a fall risk. And if I sit in a wheelchair, I have no idea, as you are pushing me, I don't know where I am because I can't see. So I don't know that I have gone past 3 doors and I'm now 3 doors down the hall on the left. All I'm feeling is the sensation of things going by my periphery, by my face, and sometimes I can pick up shadows and lights, and then that is completely disorienting because my steps are how I measure things. My steps with my guide dog are how I measure things. So if I'm not allowed to walk down a hallway, I won't know that I have walked 30 feet. If you're putting me in a wheelchair and rolling me 30 feet, I have no idea how fast you're going with me. There's no measurement. So I get disoriented. So by the time it's time for me to stand up and go to a chair somewhere, typically what happens is a person is there ready to pull me up by my arm as if I'm weak, and I'm not weak. If you move the footrests, I stand straight up because I don't have any weakness. I'm physically fit. I have nothing. I've healed a dog, which is supposed to be guiding me, so she's confused and disoriented. And then I'm pointed, well, the chair is over there. Well, over there means nothing to me. I will look to the right, to the left, and usually in that case, I will pull a Stevie Wonder look. Like I'll look up and then I start groping because I want it to be obvious that I don't know where over there is. So I usually start my instructions by saying, first of all, I can do sighted guidance and heal my dog. That way I know that I've walked 30 feet down a hallway, and then I know I've gone left or right. And then if you will just take me to the chair and put my hand on the back of the chair. Once the person does that, I'm on my own. And I give them verbal instructions like that, which helps immensely. And in this doctor's room, they don't, for me, they don't let you sit in the chair. Now, they'll take information from you while you're in the chair, but then you have to step up onto this step and sit on the exam table while they come in and they check your vitals and they check your blood pressure and they do your exam. And in this case, she was looking at my thyroid. And I'm basically sitting there. There's nothing about blindness that keeps you from sitting on the exam table and using your foot to probe out and find the little step. But every single time someone feels that I can't step up onto a step, I will never get onto the exam table, which you just turn your body around and sit down. I mean, um, and it's so misunderstood. So my job, I think, is to inform people who are in the position of assisting us, people that are blind and visually impaired. And I really, really do that in a very nice way. I explain to them I can't see eye contact, so you'll have to give me verbal cues. I can't see you point, so you have to put my hand where you want me to be. And when I give them instructions before we get to where we're going, everything works out really good and everybody feels good. I feel good, they feel good, and it's a very positive experience. So I'm going to challenge each and every one of you, if you're visually impaired or blind, I want to challenge you to use your words and your instruction and your expertise as being a blind person and show those that are helping you, tell them what you need before you need it. And if you are a sighted person, and this is all new to you and you're just watching this, blind people typically aren't a fall risk in a controlled environment. I can walk through a store and I'm not going to fall down. Now, if you add different levels, there is a fall risk at that point. So a mall with steps is a fall risk. But typically we have skills, whether that be with a cane, with a guide dog, with a sighted guide, or with all of those. We have techniques to determine where the steps are and how to get down them. Escalators, how to get down them. Elevators, how to walk in and get down. So I just wanted to share that experience with you because I think it's very interesting. And I'm going to challenge each and every one of you, if you're blind or if you are sighted, keep in mind and see if you can brainstorm and think about what creates a fall risk, falling down, what creates that, and why aren't blind people a fall risk? And embrace the concept that maybe we are a collision risk, but not a fall risk. So that's enough for my rant. And until I upload next time, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And just stay safe and healthy and happy. Bye-bye.